Right, let's have a look at this issue you're having. I'll show you why you're getting it, and then we can talk about some potential fixes for it. So here we are, we've got our domain controller. You'll see that it's just a standard group membership in there, nothing fancy. Have a look at the attribute editor as well. You'll see that admin count is not set, which is absolutely fine. What we're going to do is go to the security and add in a group. I think I called it test. Yeah, there we go. And we're going to give test group allow to authenticate. There we go. So that's the standard way of allowing that authentication method that we've been talking about. Now, just one thing to show you, I've modified the frequency that the security routine runs at. Okay, so just to be clear, on my system, on my demo system, it runs every 70 seconds. What you mustn't do is do this on a live system, because if you do, it will massively overload the processors on the particular DC, certainly on the PDC as well. So yeah, I certainly wouldn't be modifying this on a live system, but basically on mine it runs every 70 seconds. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just wait a minute and make sure that we know that that's ran. Right, okay, so what we'll see now is if we look at the security, you'll see our test group's still there, we've still got allow to authenticate. Attribute editor is still showing that there's nothing set for the admin count. Okay, now what I'm going to do is do something a bit odd. I'm going to add this domain controller to our security, to a protected security account, much like you have on your client site. So let me show you what I'm going to do, member of, and I'm just going to add this computer to the administrators group. Okay, it's a bit of an odd setup, but I think this is the cause of where your problems are coming from. So we'll click apply, click OK, and again we'll have to wait those 70 seconds. So let's just watch it for a second. Okay, let's look at the computer account now, because the security routine should have run. So we'll pull up the properties, have a look at the attribute editor. First thing you'll notice is that the admin count has now gone to 1. Now what that means is, bear in mind this attribute doesn't really do anything. It's from a back from when the AD was relatively new, so I think it was only used in 2000. But anyway, what it shows is that this object has now been stamped by the security routine that runs on the PDC. So if we now look at the security module, in there you'll see our group is now missing, and that's why you'll have lost your authenticated allow authentication user permission there. That's explicitly why you're getting it. We've looked at the group membership on that server, and that's primarily where your problem is. So what we'll look at in a few minutes is a way of hopefully trying to fix that issue. Right, let's have a look at some potential fixes for this. Before I show you it, let's pull up the properties of the domain controller, pop into the attribute editor and just clear the admin count. It's just so we know that the security process is run. So the first way to fix this, if we look under security, oops, let's pop into security. Our group isn't in there at the minute. Okay, so I'll show you how to fix it. Make sure you're in the advanced view, so you've got advanced features. Pop into your system container and you'll see there's something called admin SD holder. So get the properties up of that, go to security, go into advanced, click add, name of the group in here. Now what we want to change this to is all computer objects. There we go. Okay, and the attribute you want to add is allow to authenticate. There we go. OK, OK, and OK. Now we need to pop back to the domain controller. It's just occurred to me that we've probably missed that again, so I'm going to clear that attribute again. There we go. Pop into security. Sorry, it's late. It's been a long day. Pop into security. We're going to add our group in there. And we're going to set it to allow to authenticate. It's actually we don't really need to do this bit, but you'll see what I mean in a minute. So what we'll do now is we'll wait for that process to run. So we should see in the attribute editor that that's set to 1. Let's give it a minute. Right, let's have a look at our account now. So what we'll do is just quick refresh, have a look at the account, go into security. Now you'll see our group's still there, but you'll see that our allow to authenticate's gone, which is fine. If you move down the bottom, you'll see that it's now changed into a special permission. Click on advanced, there's our special, edit it. Should see that we'll get allow to authenticate down the bottom there. Now that's one way to fix it. Now just to be clear, I haven't thought through the full connotations of this and what it may do, so you do need to do some research on that just to see what the effect would be. The other way to deal with it, I'm just going to change that back, so bear with me a moment. Okay, the other way to deal with it, and probably the most correct way in my opinion, go into your membership on the group membership on the computer there and get rid of that pesky administrators group. There shouldn't be a reason to make a computer account a member of the administrators group, but obviously you need to try and find out if there's any history there and find out why they've done that. If you do that, what you should find is you can then put anything you like in there. So we'll just clear that again. You should now be able to set your security here and it won't get updated and it won't lose your settings. Essentially what's happening is the reason you're losing that is because of that security descriptor process and what it does with the stamping of the ACLs. So hopefully I've helped nail down the problem for you a little bit and just given you a couple of suggestions on how you might be able to fix it. But just to be clear, you need to go through this in some more detail and work out what the proper answer is to this, because it may be that the two ways I've just shown you may have other effects that I think you need to think about before you actually go and implement. Anyway, I hope that helps.